Welcome to
Back to Flour.
Good morning, Arno.
Good morning, Lena.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. So what are we going to speak about today?
I would like to speak about surface.
Wow, interesting.
Well, that's not maybe the first thing we are considering when we look at product, but that's an important part.
This is what we see.
Yeah, some product, like for instance, if you take this steam bread, it's very important to have a very smooth and shiny, and then the surface it's very important. Same thing with noodles. You can have also the same thing with wafers. When you are taking wafers, you want the wafer to be very thin like that. You don't want to see lumps. You don't want to see that, because you associate that as a consumer as bad quality.
Yeah.
Same thing, we could speak about the baguette. I mean, some people, they like to have this very rough, like say artisan type of bread. Other people would prefer something a little bit smoother. Sometimes we can have bubbles on that. So everything which is impacting really the aspect of the product, which is not the size, not the volume, but now we are speaking about the surface, is really impacting. When you are making a pan bread, you want to have this crust as smooth as possible also. So there is a real challenge for the industry to bring me, as a consumer, something which has the surface I really want to have with my product.
No, definitely, this is a challenge for bakers to maintain a proper surface, a proper aspect every time, and this depends on, let's say, too many things. The process on one hand, because of course, depending on baking, depending on if you apply, for example, a glazing on the product, you can have a more or less shiny aspect to it. But the most important thing is to maintain every time the same surface aspect. If you are going to a very smooth product, you want all your products to have this very smooth product without defect, without cracks, without bubbles, as you were mentioning.
You can see here the surface of these buns is maybe not.
This is not
one would expect, having something very smooth and very shiny.
No, definitely. So this is a challenge to maintain a proper surface. Another key aspect would be the ingredients here, the ingredients that we use, and maybe one of the most key ingredients in all of those products would be wheat flour.
Wheat flour. So how the wheat flour is impacting the surface?
So mainly here, this is going to be about starch, starch characteristics. So if the functionality of it, the gelatinization of the starch, the retrogradation of the starch as well, because you want to keep the same surface during the entire shelf life of the product.
Okay.
But also damaged starch content and its interaction with amylase activity.
Okay, so it's a lot about starch. A lot of people think it's all about protein when we look at baked product, but here you're telling us that starch is also very functional, very important. And particularly when it goes to the surface, starch is really impacting. If you look at maybe noodles here, or maybe wafers, you were mentioning that we want something very smooth. And those products, they contain, generally small amount of protein, less amount of protein. Less amount of protein, and starch gelatinization is really something helping to have a nice crust and also to retain the moisture inside the product.
So to keep the freshness.
Exactly. So basically not saying protein is not important, but maybe in that case protein is not the most important part.
And what about ash? We are measuring a lot ash content.
Well, ash of course we want to have, particularly when we are making this type of product which are kind of very white in the surface, like this, you don't want to have a lot of high starch, high ash.
It may make the product
because ash will be more gray, and eventually you can see some little specks, so you don't want to see that in the noodles in this type of product. When you have products which are a little bit more brownish like that, it might be less sensitive. In terms of surface smoothness, it will not really impact that much, except if you are working with whole wheat flour. But that's a different story.
That's a different story.
But Ash has a little impact, but
Mainly
most impact is starch. Yes, definitely. So that's what we have to retain. Don't forget your starch.
Very interesting. Thank you, Arnaud.
Thank you, Linda.
If you want to learn more about this important characteristic or about one of these delicious products here, you can visit our website